Hey up, Sofa Squad, and welcome to On the Sofa 69. 69, dude.
What I am like a 15-year-old. I can't even say anything without laughing without saying 69. Awful. So to my American friends, happy Feed a Starving European Day. That really turned out well for the Native Americans, didn't it?
Oh yeah,
I had to jab. At least once I had to throw a jab.
And why not? So people watching at home, if you want to become a patron and support the show, you can. And if you want to buy me a coffee, you can do that too. Or if you want to buy my book, Surviving 2020, which is available on Kindle, you can do that as well. And all the details are in the description. Okay, we've got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yikes, we do.
Kay Burley's pants have entered the room. And Liz Truss is with us. I now have time on my hands.
She can hang out now that she has time on her hands, you know.
So Liz, welcome. Come and join us. Come and join the stream.
Shortest serving PM ever. I don't think that's the history footnote she was reaching for.
No. But her book, Out of the Blue, available now. Soon to be in every bargain bin in discount bookstores. I
read Bill O'Reilly's Pinheads and Patriots because it was on sale at my local 99-cent store. I still have it. All his books they sell at my local dollar store. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and we've got Purple and we've got Greg with us Greg. As well. And
this year
she's saying I'm at Diana's. We just ate, so I should be helping put food away, but listening. Okay, cool.
This year I decided to make a roast because I'm so tired of turkey. There's this weird thing where turkey is affordable here in California. So my son, he eats turkey legs all the time, like we're at a Renaissance fair.
All right.
So I'm over turkey. I'm over the smell of it. So I made a lovely roast, and I'm now full.
Okay. So Americans eat turkey on Thanksgiving. That's right, isn't it? So what do you guys eat on Christmas Day?
A ham.
A ham. All right. Okay.
At least that's like around here in these parts. America, we're a conglomerate of a million different traditions, But I'm I'm grade A cheeseburger pancake eating American, Which is funny. That's like when people in the UK, they'll say, "Oh, I'm from the UK. I eat curry." Where does curry go?
Only the curry that we eat is not proper curry that they eat in India.
Oh, I'm obsessed with Indian. I'm obsessed with that and Thai curry. I'm obsessed with Thai beef curry.
I love that. Yeah, but meals like chicken tikka, chicken korma, they're English. They were invented here. And but anyway, but we we don't do Thanksgiving here in the UK. Our day for turkey is Christmas Day.
Oh, okay. So do you guys call this like Good Riddance Day? Glad we got rid of the Puritans Day? Or there's a famous comedian that said, how different would America be if we got found by the Swedish? instead of
Yeah.
the Puritans, with all their laws and rules.
Yeah. It would be, America would be so laid back. It'd be so chill. It'd probably be the chillest place on earth.
Which those two words are never in the same sentence at the same time when it regards to America. So I live in a place that's paradise, and we're all scared. We're all scared to go outside. America has changed.
Yeah. Yeah, Britain too. But anyway, there's a lot going on. There's a lot. Let's I don't know where to start. And anyway, we'll start with good old Rishi. This is interesting. This is from the Mirror. Rishi Sunak stops daily interviews with ministers on shows, including Good Morning Britain,
because they were tearing them apart.
So,
do you think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So, yeah, this is the story that Rishi Sunak. He's no longer allowing ministers to be interviewed on a daily basis. It's just going to be when the government has something new to communicate, basically. And this is from the guy who said, this government is going to be transparent and all the rest of it.
So in a very polite British way, he is doing exactly what Donald Trump did, but in much more of a polite way, because Donald Trump was like, get the F out of here.
Yeah.
It's the signs of a wannabe dictator, and I don't think we throw that term around enough anymore.
No.
I'll tell you what you need to know when you need to know it. George Bush II used to do that, and it was obvious.
Yeah. So they're only going to appear, Tory ministers are only going to appear on news programs when there's something for the government to announce.
Oh, all of the ministers.
Yeah.
It's because they're getting hosed. I watch my girlfriend, Kay Burley. I love Kay Burley. They get hosed and they're stuttering. They don't know what to say.
Oh, Michael Gove had a car crash interview this morning.
I saw that.
It was terrible. And I don't know if you noticed, but he was sniffing profusely throughout.
Okay, I don't know who needs to hear this, but Michael Gove is a raging cokehead.
But we joke about this, but seriously, I think you're right. I think he could well be a raging coke addict. I think that needs to be investigated.
A couple of years ago, I think, and this is because I watched Kate Smurthwaite. 2 years ago, he berated teachers for drug use, and we're going to start drug testing teachers. And people were like, "You're a cokehead. What are you talking about?" Like, they exposed him. So I've been knowing that he's an avid drug user for over 2 years.
Yeah.
He reminds me again of a very polite Donald Trump Jr. Because Trump Jr. is like, why would he have to care? He's so rich, he can afford a cocaine habit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
So this is all about, Rishi Sunak not wanting to be accountable.
Absolutely.
The Tories hate being accountable. They hate it. They hate answering difficult questions.
It's because the ship's on fire and they're saying everything's okay. They're literally that meme where they're like, this is fine, and everything around them is on fire,
Yeah.
And after a while, how many times can you say you're broke? They do the same thing in America. They'll throw a distraction story out to to completely blind people from the fact that everyone's broke. So let's say,
Yeah.
oh, let's pit each other against each other, but the system's completely failing.
Yeah.
And they're hoping no one notices,
Yeah. Oh, Purple is saying something. Sorry, I missed this. She says, I saw an interesting what if there had not been horses in Europe, they could not have been able to industrialize, and it could have been the natives from the Americas that colonized Europe. So it could have been the other way around.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting to think about these things from time to time.
I saw a documentary on I'm sorry, on Lewis and Clark, the expedition when they came from the East Coast, which at that time furthest west was St. Louis, which is laughable to someone who lives in California. But they almost got murdered by the Blackfeet Indians, who were like, "What are you doing here?" And history would be much different if because at the time Lewis and Clark had the most technologically advanced guns in the world. And so if the Blackfeet Indians were able to take that and reproduce it, it would have been a different story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter about who you are, it's about what weapon you have,
Yeah.
I love what ifs like that. I love what ifs like that.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to move on.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week.
Talking of cokeheads, we're going to talk about our old friend, one of our old friends. I mean, David Warburton. Do you remember? Do you remember? You remember this guy, right?
That's the guy that did the Coke picture with the pose like this.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Legend, absolute just mess, but a legend.
He's also. We've got Godless Gummer in the chat as well. Hello,
hey,
welcome. But David Warburton, he famously posed with lines of cocaine. He's also got he's also got sexual abuse allegations against him. But he's back in the news on yeah, you're right, Godless Scum, on GBB's. It's apologizing after failing to declare £150,000 loan from a Russian-born businessman. He's corrupt as fuck. This guy. I mean, I don't think he's a Tory MP. I think he, after the cocaine debacle, I think he did have the Tory whip removed, but he's still an MP. But how he should have stepped down, and there should have been a by-election in his constituency.
I know.
But he's still an MP. He's still taking 80 grand salary.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's how much MPs make.
Yeah.
That's decent. It's really funny. The average MP would not be able to afford a home in California. Even making $80,000, they wouldn't be able to live here. That's crazy. That's a decent amount of money. For some reason, I thought they made more.
All right. Purple is saying, even the weapons aside, if the natives had any clue what Europeans were like, and a couple of the tribes in the east joined together, they could have prevented there being any settlement in the US.
And sorry, I forgot to mention it. And also one of my favorite Lewis and Clark quotes is I think it was Meriwether Lewis said, when they got to Portland, which we now consider Portland, Oregon, on the Willamette River, there were more Native Americans there than people in all of what was the United States of America at that time. Where did they all go?
Yeah. But
you know what's so funny? On all American holidays, we point out the genocide that got us here.
Yeah.
Yikes. So I want to know, you can be a total like 1980s party animal stereotype and still be an MP in the UK. I'm gonna move there.
Yes.
I don't think I have the heart for it, but literally. So so he's not going to lose his salary or anything?
Not at the moment, no. Apparently not.
Okay, so we sit here every week. I have a question. What do you have to do to lose your job as an MP in the UK?
I don't know. Godless Scummer says this. He says, my former MP was forced to resign and a by-election was called because he was caught perverting the course of justice, getting his wife to take his points on his license for driving offences. So, yeah, it does happen. But this guy's still an MP.
Wow.
And he's corrupt as fuck. So I don't know. It says this: an MP has apologized after failing to declare a £150,000 loan from a Russian-born businessman. David Warburton was found to have breached the MP's code of conduct twice by neglecting to register or subsequently declare the payment he received from Roman Jokovsky through the overseas company Castlebrook Associates Limited in 2017. This is when he was still a Tory MP. This is before the cocaine stuff blew up, in other words.
Oh, wow.
The MP for Somerton and Frome came under scrutiny after it was reported that he provided a favourable reference of Mr. Jokovsky to the Financial Conduct Authority in March 2021, prior to the full repayment of the loan, describing him as extremely capable and an honest and straightforward person. So he's not sorry. He's just sorry he got caught.
Yeah, exactly. Aren't all politicians, though?
Yeah.
And I can imagine that he is abusive because he's a cokehead. You know, I look at all the conservative MPs differently. Like Jacob Rees-Mogg, now I know why he was so stiff and so like couldn't handle anyone talking anything negative to him. Because he was coked out.
Yeah. Stall is saying I'm perverted justice, and so is my wife.
Now that sounds like a Doctor Who episode, Stool's wife.
It does. But I think that seriously, I think there needs to be an investigation into the drug use in Parliament. You know, and how many how far does it go? How many MPs are high while they're in the House of Commons, while they're, doing their job?
Even as somebody who lives in America, I know that your MPs are like known for being on cocaine. Like I said, Kate Smurthwaite talks about it. She's been literally talking about it for years of how drug use is just rampant. But it's not just, but just like in California, like every other person smokes weed here, okay? It's not just the politicians, it's everybody else that does it too, you know?
But yeah, it's I think we've gone back to the 80s, when everyone was snorting cocaine.
Exactly.
Everyone was. Everyone was. It's gone back to that level of usage, and I'm certain it's especially prevalent amongst rich businessmen and MPs.
Well, it's a peppy. Well, in America, I don't know about in the UK, but in America, it's a rich person's drug because you have to have money.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a lot of money because you do it every 20 minutes. It's not like weed where you smoke it and you sit on it for an hour and a half, 3 hours. Oh,
there's an awesome mashup somebody did of Michael Gove singing "Because I Got High."
I've seen it. It's hilarious.
I think I've seen that. Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah,
he was unhinged last night with my girlfriend, and if I lived any closer, I would give him a stern talking to.
Yeah. He was, because he actually, we're going to look at that story next because it's quite revealing. If I can find it.
I like how your country's mayhem distracts me from my own country's just insanity.
Oh yeah, this is the one. But Tory peer Michelle Mone secretly received £29 million from VIP Lane PPE firm.
29 million. I want people to think about that. Hold on. Let's take a moment of brevity real quick. Do you realize what 1 million or like 5 million would do for your life,
Yeah.
And this young lady got paid 29 million just to push this junk. I would be a corrupt official.
And yeah. We're in the wrong jobs.
I know. Professional liars make a lot of money. That's insane. 29. That's astronaut money. That's insane.
She's a baroness. and she, the PPE equipment, a lot of it didn't even work. So all that money went down the drain, literally down the drain. And what your girlfriend was, Kay Burley was quizzing Michael Gove about was his, his
was he involved?
Yeah, his involvement in this, because he was at the time, I think he was the Duchy of Lancaster, and it was his role to pass these contracts on, and so she was asking him about this specific contract, that the government gave to Michelle Mone, on his watch, and he like you said, he was stuttering and stammering and sniffing.
It's crazy to me that he's allowed to go on television like that.
Yeah.
I live in the cocaine capital of America. And in Hollywood, if you're not on drugs, people ask you, like, why do you live here? And even I know people that are absolutely insane and they wouldn't go on TV that ripped. Like he was, I stayed up all night with a foreign escort. He was so high. It was honestly, for someone, it was kind of cringy. It was kind of,
yeah.
And I rarely say that because I love cringy content. I make it on YouTube.
But apparently, Godless Gummer has got a friend who writes for the Private Eye who covered the PPE scandal.
Oh wow.
And I'm pretty sure we covered the Michelle Mone story months ago.
Yeah.
I'm sure we did. Because I'm sure Byline Times picked up on this months ago. And now the mainstream media is only just picking up on it. They're only just catching up.
You know what? I read Scientific America, and it's amazing how there'll be an article in Scientific American, and then I'll read that article and then see it on the news 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So the media, it's amazing how slow the media is sometimes. On certain things, you know, if it has to do with a celebrity or someone you hate, they're instantly on it, you know.
Yeah. But now finally the mainstream media have picked up on this, and Angela Rayner, the deputy leader of the Labour Party, was asking questions about this. In the House of Commons earlier today.
Can I say something really quick? I have a weird schoolboy crush on Angela Rayner. I like what she's got going on. I like her. I like her red hair. I like the way she talks. She bites her tongue sometimes.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. I am developing a crush on her. She's kind of goofy, and I like it.
Yeah, you're right. There is something about her. I see where you're coming from. Purple saying it just means one of your news editors scans Scientific American when they need filler pieces.
It's true though. It's like the tardigrade. When the tardigrade was discovered, I read about it 2 months before it just hit the news. Then tardigrades were everywhere. But like to the science community, it was already old news and they'd already moved on, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, back to Angela Rayner. I like it. I like all of it. And in an interview I recently watched, she got so trashed because they're like, oh, you took a bribe. Someone sent her clothes because people were talking so much trash about the way she dresses. So someone sent her like all these really, you know, basically to look like everybody else.
Suella Braverman fails to explain how theoretical asylum seeker could get to UK safely and legally. Did you see this?
Yes. Okay. I watched that this morning, last night. Insomnia. Sometimes I can't tell. She literally was like literally could not answer.
We've got the footage here.
Oh, I love it.
Just a bit of role play. I'm a 16-year-old orphan from an East African country escaping a war zone and religious persecution. And I have
and this is a Tory MP, by the way.
Hey, nerdy.
Kingdom at the moment. What is the safe and legal route for me to come to United Kingdom?
Well, we have. You're fleeing which country? Sorry.
Any African country.
Any African country. Well,
be any continent, but let's say any African country. I don't want to name one because then their prime minister might have a go at me for demonizing their population. So let's just theoretically talk about an African country which is going through a period of turbulence and which is persecuting its citizens, including an innocent 16-year-old like me.
Well, we have an asylum system, and people can put in applications for asylum.
How would I do that?
Well, you can do it through the safe and legal routes that we have. We have offered 390,000 places to people seeking safety from various countries around the world.
I'm not Syrian, I'm not Afghan,
5
I'm not Ukrainian, not any of those specific schemes. The Dub scheme is historic. What scheme's open to me?
Well, if you are able to get to the UK, you are able to put in an application for asylum.
I would only enter the UK illegally then, wouldn't I?
Well, that would, if you put in your application for asylum upon arrival, that would be the process that you enter.
How could I arrive in the UK if I didn't have permission to get onto an aircraft legally to arrive in the UK?
Let me just invite other colleagues if there's anything they want to add.
I mean, you could engage with UNHCR. I mean, depending which country you're from, you could engage with UNHCR, and that would be a way
that is such a weasel
getting leave to enter the UK in order to put in an asylum claim. But I accept that there are some countries where that would not be possible.
I think the point.
That's a bit of a weasel move. You can't answer, so you're like, "Oh, staff, help me, please." So that is such a weaselly move. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't make it all the way through the interview. I didn't see that last part where she deflected, literally Darvo, like literally Darvo.
Yeah, she was speechless. She didn't have an answer.
I think I said, now you've had the prime minister roulette. I don't know how long ago I said this, but here we are. Imagine there's someone worse than Priti Patel. I could never imagine that. And Suella Braverman took that mantle and was like, I promise to do more mayhem than my predecessor.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly. Wokarati, tofu eating. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. But that was great. That was beautiful to watch. He eviscerated her. He destroyed her. He totally destroyed her.
I have to go. Give me one quick second. I have to give young Mr. Sewing a hard time because I know he hasn't hopped in the shower because I can't hear the pipes.
Oh, okay. But that's so true. If you're coming over, it's not illegal to come over as to this country and seek asylum. But the problem the problem is that the Tories have closed safe and legal routes for people coming over from certain countries. So they have no legal way of coming over here. So how can they claim asylum in this country unless they come here by unless they come here in a dinghy,
exactly.
or some other I mean, this is an island, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. It's not like in America. Whether people know it or not, we have processing centers all along the border, but people are in the United States of America while they're here.
Yeah.
We're not sending them somewhere else.
Yeah.
But again, America is unimaginably big because I see a lot of people, they'll say things about America, and I think they only think America is like California and New York. There's a lot of land in between.
But people who on the left have been saying this for ages. We need more safe and legal routes for people to come to this country and claim asylum. That's it. It's as simple as that.
Was your immigration ever did it ever work? Was there ever a process where somebody could actually do that?
I think there were safe and legal routes, but apparently the Tories have closed them down.
Because I feel like sometimes we're arguing ideals and they'll say, oh, what about this and this? And it's like, did you ever let people just walk into your country? Because like in America, it's like 50-50. Sometimes we did. And everybody forgets that George Bush II brought people into this country legally. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah. So Purple saying most people in the US don't have the concept that the country is more than a few hundred miles across.
Yeah, it's true. And that's the sad thing. Like in the UK, and I know it might be a stereotype, but does the average person take at least one holiday where they're not on the continent in their life?
I don't know.
Because like in America, there are people who will never leave their hometown.
Yeah, I mean, there are people here in the UK who are like that as well, who will never leave, their hometown, or won't leave. They'll never leave the city where they live or the county where they live.
It's like I'm considered a rarity where I live because I have a passport. Like a lot of people I know, they don't like, and that's another thing. Like in the UK, does the average person have a passport?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
In America, I'm gonna look that up before I even spout numbers, but I doubt the average person has a passport in America.
After the hurricanes, Ron DeSantis was trying to import more immigrant workers to help them rebuild.
He is such a piece of garbage. Make up your mind, buddy.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see what else we've got here. Let's have a look.
Now I just have images of Cruella de Vil in my head because of Cyrilla Breverman. Thank you, Nerdy.
Dominic Raab facing series of bullying claims from civil servants.
Do you know, I forgot about this. There's been so much going on this week that, I think Dominic Raab is on coke as well. Allegedly. If just by his actions, he reminds me of a human being who's supercharged.
Yeah. But apparently, according to this article here, he's facing multiple fresh complaints from senior civil servants in multiple government departments over allegations of bullying behavior. There's a whole raft of complaints against him now.
I can see it. I'm sorry, with the behavior that we've seen from 10 Downing Street in the past 4 or 5 years, I can totally see him doing that. There's footage of Jacob Rees-Mogg and his buddies going, trying to shove everybody in the chamber so they can, over here. I believe it.
It's so he's been investigated. Well, the article goes on. The Deputy Prime Minister's former private secretaries responsible for handling the day-to-day affairs of government ministers are preparing to submit formal complaints, according to BBC Newsnight.
Oh, wow.
This is serious stuff. But watch this space. Will he keep it? Will he keep his job? I don't even know.
At this point, not even going on a game show and completely getting rid of your responsibilities will get you fired, or doing cocaine, or looking up tractor porn, or there's a whole list.
So I think, but I think at the moment Rishi Sunak is defending him, is standing by him. But we'll see, because a lot can happen in politics in a week of politics,
especially in the
watch
UK.
This space. We'll stay with this story, I expect.
You could have a new prime minister next week with the way things have been going this year.
Probably
it's been.
We'll see. But talking of Matt Hancock, well, we weren't really talking about it, but we were alluding to him. He apparently, this is from the Mirror. It says, let's close that down.
Hey,
I'm a celeb's Matt Hancock has broken ministerial code, watchdog rules. So he could lose his job as an MP, because of this, because of going leaving his constituency to go on I'm a Celebrity. The there could be he could be facing a by-election when he when he comes back.
He should be disgraced, tarred and feather, and put on display for don't ever act like this again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so like let's bring this down to like, Johnny 9 to 5 every day kind of guy. If I left my job for 2 weeks, I wouldn't have one to come back to. If I left it for a month, they would like call me and be like, don't ever show up again. And I'm part of the ownership.
Yes. But apparently, and I've seen this in another article as well, he, as well as being on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, he's also going to be on SAS, Who Dares Wins.
Oh, wow.
Well,
maybe he knows he's going to be canned by the time he comes home.
Probably. But I'm certain that the reason he's doing this is for 2 reasons. One, to try to whitewash his reputation, and two, to plug his book, because there was one episode of I'm a Celebrity quite a few days ago now, when the fellow contestant Chris Moyles asked, "So, what are you going to do after this? Are you going to write a book?" And he said, "Actually, I've got a book out."
So full disclosure, this is the first season I've ever watched because of this dude. So whatever he's doing, it's worked because some scrub from America is watching on a Canadian VPN.
Of course, serving MPs going on reality TV shows has always worked out. George Galloway, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've said this a couple weeks ago. Like, he's not a celebrity. He affects people's lives. So he's an idiot.
Yeah. Being a celebrity is easier. All you have to do is have scandals and not bother to pretend you have policies. So yeah, he's doing this to plug his book. I'm sure of it.
That's just crazy. It's the whole thing is crazy. Maybe he knew that the government is just imploding on its own, so he's like, you know what? I'm gonna tune out until they fire me. I've done that before. I'm just gonna sit here until they can me.
Yeah.
That's awful.
So he could lose his seat over this, and in fact, I'm pretty sure he will. So,
I'm gonna say this, and I'm not even trying to be nice. He should. I don't know. I come from that weird lunch pail, hard hat American background of like, if you didn't show up to your job, that you would pull up to the park and there would literally be a sign of like, your name, get out of here. You just can't do that. You can't.
Exactly. So Tory, who told MPs to shut up, accused of failing to declare 17 properties in Commons clash. Labour says Paul Howe should have drawn attention to his interests in a heated debate on the economy last week.
17 properties. And I bet he's a slumlord. I bet he's a slumlord in all of it.
Yeah. But look at the shock on her face.
Even I know because of Penelope Keith, I know the ministerial code. I'm sorry, the ministerial code of conduct. And you can't act like that. You can't act like you can't tell people to shut up. You can't tell them they're idiots. You can't call them a liar.
No, you can't. A Tory MP who told 3 female Labour front benchers to shut up has been accused of failing to declare that he owns 17 properties as MPs debated the state of the economy. 17 properties.
Man.
That's just greedy.
Oh man. The taxes have to be unreal on that though. You have to have a lot of money to make money like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm impressed.
You know, you got people living rough on the streets, and he's got 17 properties that he's failed, you know, that he failed to declare. You can't do that.
And he probably has like 2 or 3 that he has declared. See, there's rich, and then there's that kind of rich. That's like yacht club, you know.
Yeah.
You have a Cayman Islands bank account. Yikes.
Yeah. The Commons Code of Conduct says MPs should draw attention to registered or unregistered interests on almost any occasion when someone else might consider them to influence what you say or do in Parliament.
Okay, so I ask this all the time. Will there be any consequences for this guy for being a liar?
I doubt it. I doubt it. I mean, I'm trying to look through the article here, but it doesn't seem to. Of course, Howe did not respond to requests for comment. The article ends with, of course, he didn't.
Do you have any backwater hamlet towns in the UK? Are there any backwater hamlets? I'm going to move to some backwater town out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
and become the MP.
I mean, I was brought up in one. But so, there's plenty of backwater hamlet towns.
It just seems strange to me. But then again, in America, you can act like a howler monkey, like Marjorie Greene, Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert, you know. Politics have just completely taken a dive. You know, when I was a kid, it just, you know, and maybe it was my perception. And when I say kid, I mean like 20 years old. Politicians just seemed like they were better liars. Like they could save face, you know, even if you knew that, like, in a weird way, I respect George Bush because he was like, I'm evil and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you to your face.
Yeah. But what a state of affairs.
It's just an absolute tire fire.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll move to Leeds. Do you guys play hockey in Leeds?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Like ice hockey? Ooh, I'll build an ice hockey stadium. Do people ice skate in the UK? I follow someone who sews, and she is a figure skater. And she lives in the UK.
All right. You know, we've got ice rinks.
Yeah, exactly. It's my national pastime, even though I'm not Canadian.
So, what have we got next? I think that's it for the Tories, but we've got Labour to talk about now. Keir Starmer. We must wean economy off immigration, Labour leader warns businesses.
Okay, that's the same beef I have here in America. Like, okay, if you want to do that, then pour money into the schools, stop incarcerating people, stop making lives impossible for people. And then you won't need foreign help because the people will have the education to do the job. It's the same problem here in America. Our conditions are deplorable, and we wonder why we're punching out students who can't read. You know?
Yeah.
Man, if it's not one side, it's the other.
This is from the BBC. It says this: the days of cheap labour must end to wean the UK off its immigration dependency. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has told business leaders. See, that kind of rhetoric is straight from the Tories.
How's it
And-
going, Germania?
Hi, Germania. Hi. And the reason I think he's doing this, he's using this rhetoric, is to try to win back the so-called red wall voters that the Labour Party lost to the Tories in 2019.
Oh wow!
He's thrown red meat to them basically, and it's straight out of the Tory handbook.
I just it infuriates me when people because like America was found on immigration,
Yeah.
and if you want to help the people that are here, you should educate them, make sure they're not stressed all the time and worrying about housing and where their next meal is coming from. And the same thing is happening right now in the UK. Every time I watch the news, they talk about food banks and people going to food banks,
Yeah, exactly.
It's infuriating to hear politicians just talk and talk while everything is going down the tubes completely.
And he's also, I think we talked about this last week, where he's also said that he wants the NHS to stop depending on migrant workers. But the thing is, without migrant workers, the NHS would fall apart.
Same thing here in America. Alabama kicked, no, I think it was Mississippi. They kicked all if you weren't born in America, you had to get out. Within 6 months, they had crops rotting on the vine. And they missed a whole harvest because people from there didn't know how to work the fields at all.
Yeah.
I think people forget that in a weird way, we're all dependent on each other. No matter how much you cry about it, if you replace someone, they better have the same education as a person before them.
Yeah. And Nigel Farage praised Keir Starmer for his speech on immigration. So if you're endorsed by Nigel Farage, you're on the wrong side of history.
And for people who don't know, Nigel Farage is a man who goes to the ocean and yells at it.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Those were some of the, like, honestly, during the lockdown in 2020, I went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I watched hours upon hours of YouTube, and Nigel Farage would literally go yell at the ocean. He would say, I'm at blah, 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 and look at, and you're like, bro, that's the ocean. You know how huge the ocean is?
Yes.
And you can't even see France from where he was standing. He's dumb. Man.
Purple says Trump cracking down on immigration ended up with not enough immigrant workers, so 20 to 30% of the California crops rotted in the field.
Do you know, for the first time ever, it's funny that she would say that. For the first time ever, I heard the term self-deporting. People were leaving in droves. When Trump became president, people left.
Yeah.
They were like, it's not worth it. So they just left in droves.
Yeah. And in other...
Yikes.
Yeah, so I kind of understand why he's doing this, but I kind of wish he wouldn't, because it's not good. He's dragging Labour more and more to the right, and it's frustrating.
The same thing happens in America. They're just trying to appease to a certain base. They're like, so if I reach middle ground in my mind, and I say, hey, I'll give you this and act like you, even though I'm not you, which is BS anyways. Same thing happens in America. I always say, like, our Democratic Party would be conservative in any other country.
Yeah. But on the other side of the coin, he's apparently promising to abolish the House of Lords. I'll
believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, how long has the House of Lords been in Parliament?
Mm.
Been a part of Parliament? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's ask Alexa. How long has the House of Lords been a part of Parliament?
From Wikipedia.org, this upper chamber became known as the House of Lords from 1544 onward, and the lower chamber became known as the House
Alexa,
of
thank you.
1544.
1544.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
I don't believe he'll do it because
It's
he
one of-
wants to be a lord himself. You know, he's Sir Keir Starmer, for goodness sake.
You know, people ask all the time, like, what's the point of the House of Lords? Like, what is the point of them? What do they do?
They're supposed to hold they're supposed to hold MPs to account.
So they stand around and judge people. But again, I'm quoting No Job for a Lady. And because I don't live in your country, I could say this. So they're a bunch of old dossers living off the people, or what?
Something like that, yeah.
I'm literally quoting not Penelope Keith, but I'm quoting this show.
But apparently he wants to replace it with a new elected chamber as part of plans to restore trust in politics. This is from The Observer.
Short of buying everybody a house and letting them live there free forever, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Ever.
I think you're right. Unfortunately, that ship has already sailed. There is no trust in politics.
No.
And then it's going to take a long time before there will be again, I think. But I don't trust Keir Starmer to keep any promises that he makes. Godless Scummer says this: bullshit. Is he ever going to abolish the House of Lords? Michael Foot was a Labour leader, way to the left of Starmer, and he took up for the House of Lords big time.
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to do a damn. He's trying to appease to two different bases at the same time.
Yeah.
Crazy. Just absolutely insanity.
Yeah.
So business as usual, huh?
It will be. It will be. It will be. And I think, and the thing is, the reason why we spend so much time, ripping the Tories a new one, is because they're in power.
Mm-hmm.
But when the Labour Party get into power, we'll spend most of the time ripping them a new one.
I live in liberal heaven, and I have a complaint list that's like 6 pages. No matter who's in charge, they suck.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, we got one more story.
All right.
This is a litmus test of how bad things have got in this country. This is from the Metro. Tesco put security tags on milk after surge in thefts in cost of living crisis.
I saw this. I'm gonna start handing out lock cutters. I'm gonna move to the UK and hand lock cutters to people. That's crazy. Do you know where I live? In my local Walmart, they started putting face wash behind glass.
Really?
And it's like face wash is like I use Morning Burst, like the $2 stuff, and it's literally behind AK. So hard times, it's crazy what they lock up. That is a sign of the times.
Yeah. And this photo is from a Tesco store in Cornwall, but it's happened elsewhere. I can't remember exactly where it was, but police seized dozens of milk, of bottles of milk, that had been stolen.
What?
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. If I was a cop and they were like, go find him, I'd say, okay. And I would go to Domino's and eat a pizza.
Mm.
I'm serious. That's crazy.
Yeah. So people, more and more people are beginning to steal milk because they can't afford to pay for it. And it wouldn't surprise me if people are stealing bread as well. Yeah, that's going to be the next story.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't think this is why I couldn't be in the military or a cop. Like I wouldn't enforce that. I would let them steal the milk. I'd like, here, let me take the tag off for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna steal it. Let's just do it properly.
Yeah. People, Nerdy Rodent saying, people need to stop trying to stay alive. How inconsiderate.
This is the insanity of inflation. We're doing it to ourselves too. Like it's, I'm not gonna get too hippie on you, but money is pretend.
Yes.
I'm not trying to get too hippie on you, but money is effing make believe.
Yeah. Purple saying, I saw that on Twitter and I was going to ask you if it was real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah. This is happening. It's really happening.
And you know what? Like I said, in America, we lock up all kinds of crazy. I want to take a picture next time. At my local Walmart, half of the health and beauty section is behind glass. Like I understand razors, but like, are people really stealing Pantene Pro V? Are people really stealing shampoo? Like, hey man, call me if you need help. I'll buy you some shampoo. I'll send you. I'll Amazon you a box if you need it. Yikes.
So, yeah, we live in a dystopian nightmare at the moment.
Absolutely, and in America, like in where I live, gas is still unimaginable. I paid 82 the other week. I paid 92 because I fill my car. I try to once a week, and I'm not even driving my truck anymore because it has one 12-gallon tank and one. It's just some outrageous amount. I don't even know. It's like 30 something gallons of gas.
Yeah, but I'm struggling because, excuse me. And I'm not the only one, but the same trolley of groceries that used to cost me £60 is now costing me 90 pounds almost. It's terrible.
Every week I go shopping and my bill went from like 120 to almost $200. And that's just like, my son and I, we do eat like pirates, but we eat a lot of like vegetables and stuff. Like average stuff has gone up.
So, I mean, anyway, so that's the final story. I wish I had some good news to share with you guys, but unfortunately, this is the dystopian nightmare that we seem to be living in. But on that bombshell, I'll say good night, and thanks to God, Godless Sewing, Will, for joining me as always, and thanks to everyone in the chat as well, and again, if you want to become a patron or buy me a coffee, please do. And the details are in the description. Until next time, bye for now.
See you guys later. Rock out with your clock out.